All right, buckle up for today's deep dive because things are about to get juicy. We're talking relationship drama, the kind that keeps you on the edge of your seat. We're going full-on detective mode with a Reddit post where a guy is questioning if his girlfriend is cheating on him.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Think you can help us crack the case?
I'm ready to put my detective hat on. It's always fascinating to explore these complex relationship dynamics, especially when we're trying to decipher those subtle signs that something might be off.
Exactly. So our source material is this Reddit post from Rask Men Advice. And let me tell you, this guy lays it all out there. He's 30 years old, and he's got some serious concerns about his 34-year-old girlfriend.
Lay it on us. What's he worried about?
Okay, so first piece of evidence. The boyfriend says his girlfriend has become super secretive about her phone. Like, she hides it whenever he's around,
Yeah.
won't let him touch it, and if he even glances in its direction, she quickly switches apps.
Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely a little fishy. I mean, everyone's entitled to some privacy, even in a relationship, right? But that level of secrecy, it kind of makes you wonder what she's hiding.
Right, it's like the classic if you got nothing to hide scenario. But wait, it gets even weirder. She packed lingerie for a night out with her girlfriends, supposedly for karaoke, and then ended up staying the night.
Oh, this is getting interesting.
She claimed it was a lingerie party, which she insisted, and I quote, women do.
A lingerie party? Now, I've heard of girls' nights out, but a lingerie party for karaoke, I'm not so sure about that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's hard to picture a bunch of women just casually hanging out in lingerie, belting out tunes. Something doesn't quite add up.
It does seem a bit far-fetched.
And here's another thing. Her social life has seemingly exploded. She's been going out with her work friends a lot more frequently. And get this, she started sleeping over at their places.
Ah, so a change in her usual routine.
Big time. She rarely did that before.
This is definitely something to pay attention to. It's all about timing and context. Has something changed at work? Is she seeking attention or validation outside the relationship? Hmm.
It's like she's building a separate life that doesn't include her boyfriend, which, is never a good sign. Oh, but wait, there's more. She's also become fixated on getting in shape. She started taking Ozempic, joined a gym, the whole 9 yards.
So a sudden focus on her physical appearance?
Totally. Now, I'm all for self-improvement, but you gotta wonder, is there more to it than just wanting to feel good?
It's possible. A sudden shift like that could suggest she's trying to impress someone new or maybe recapture that feeling of being desired. It's not a smoking gun, but it's definitely another piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so we've got the secretive phone, the questionable lingerie party, the increased girls' nights out, and the sudden transformation. At this point, I'm starting to worry about this guy, and it only gets crazier from here.
Oh, there's more. Spill the tea.
You better believe it. In an edit to his post, the boyfriend drops some bombshells that completely changed the game.
All right, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. Welcome back, folks, to our deep dive into this Reddit post that has us all feeling like amateur detectives.
Seriously, my head's still spinning from that lingerie party excuse.
I know, right? It's definitely raised some eyebrows, but hold on tight because the boyfriend added an edit to his post, and let me tell you, things get even more suspicious.
Oh, I'm ready for this.
So he mentions this guy he's never met before who keeps popping up at events they attend. The girlfriend claims he's just an old friend, but it's happening so often that the boyfriend's starting to think it's more than just a coincidence.
How many old friends can you randomly run into, right?
Exactly, and it makes you wonder if she's putting herself in situations where she knows she'll bump into this guy.
Like she's almost orchestrating these chance encounters.
It's definitely adding another layer of intrigue to this whole situation.
Okay, so we've got the mystery man, but it doesn't stop there. The boyfriend also mentions that she's been working late more often, like until 7 or 8 p.m.
Late nights at the office, huh?
But here's the thing. She supposedly has a 9-to-5 job.
Oh, that's interesting. Unexplained changes in work schedules, those can definitely be red flags in a relationship.
Totally agree. It's like, is she really working late, or is that her alibi for spending time with someone else?
It's definitely a valid concern. And on top of all that, the boyfriend says their sex life has practically disappeared.
Oof, that's never a good sign.
No, it's not. A decline in intimacy can happen for lots of reasons, like stress or communication problems. But in this case, it kind of lines up with all the other suspicious behavior.
It makes you think that maybe she's finding that emotional and physical connection somewhere else.
That's a possibility we can't ignore.
All right, let's recap. We've got the secretive phone behavior, the questionable lingerie party, the sudden increase in girls' nights out, the focus on her appearance, the mysterious old friend, the late work nights, And now the decline in intimacy. We're starting to see a pattern here.
The evidence is definitely piling up, and it's pointing towards a potential case of infidelity. But we have to remember that we're only getting one side of the story. We don't know the girlfriend's perspective or what their relationship was like before all of this started.
That's a good point. It's important to keep an open mind, but even if she's not technically cheating, all of these changes in her behavior point to a lack of communication and transparency, and that's not healthy for any relationship.
Exactly. It's like she's creating this distance between them, and that's never a good sign.
It's like that saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. Something's definitely burning in this relationship, even if we don't know exactly what it is yet.
Totally. But before we get too serious, I have to share some of the hilarious comments I saw on the Reddit thread.
Oh, I love a good Reddit comment section. Spill it.
Okay, so remember the whole debate about whether lingerie parties are a real thing? Well, one commenter, who said she's a lesbian, chimed in and said, "I can confirm we don't have lingerie parties, so I'm pretty sure straight women don't either." I laughed out loud when I read that.
That's amazing. Gotta love the honesty of the internet.
Right. And then the jokes just started rolling in. People were imagining these lingerie parties as something straight out of a cheesy rom-com.
Pillow fights, pizza deliveries, the whole shebang.
Exactly. It was hilarious. But even with all the jokes, I think this whole thread highlights the power of community and online forums.
You mean how this guy is finding support and advice from complete strangers on the internet?
Yeah. He's going through a really tough time, but he's not alone. There are people out there who can relate to what he's experiencing and offer different perspectives. And sometimes that's all you need.
Absolutely. So after all this, what advice would you give this guy? If you were his friend, what would you tell him to do?
I think the most important thing is for him to have an open and honest conversation with his girlfriend. He needs to tell her what he's observed, how it makes him feel, and give her a chance to explain herself.
But those conversations can be so difficult. How do you even approach a sensitive topic like that without things getting heated?
Well, it's all about the approach. Instead of accusing her, he could start by expressing his own feelings and observations, like, "Hey, I've noticed you've been on your phone a lot lately, and it makes me feel like I'm not a priority."
So focusing on I statements instead of you statements.
Exactly. It's less accusatory and more about expressing his own needs and feelings.
Makes sense. But beyond the words themselves, I think it's important for him to create a safe space for this conversation. A space where they can both feel comfortable being honest and vulnerable without feeling judged or attacked.
Absolutely. It's not about winning or losing an argument. It's about trying to rebuild trust and connection.
And if she's not willing to have that conversation or put in the effort, then he needs to seriously consider if this relationship is worth saving.
Sometimes walking away is the healthiest choice, even if it's painful.
It's crazy how this Reddit post has sparked such a deep and meaningful conversation about relationships.
It really has. It's a reminder that we're all navigating the complexities of love and connection in this digital age, and there are no easy answers.
Well, to our listener who shared this post with us, we hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought.
And remember, folks, honesty, communication, and trust, those are the cornerstones of any healthy relationship.
So true. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shauna Palage. You can also catch more episodes of Voices of the Soul on your favorite podcast app.
It's been a pleasure dissecting this case with you. Until next time, keep those deep dives going.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. Welcome back to The Deep Dive, you guys. As we've been digging into this Reddit post, it's got me thinking about how this situation is bigger than just one couple's drama,
Oh, absolutely. It really taps into some universal truth about relationships in this day and age, especially with technology and everything.
Right. Like, we're constantly connected. Our online and offline lives are all mixed up. It makes you wonder how all that's impacting our relationships and how much we trust each other, even what we consider private anymore.
It's a really interesting point. We have access to so much information about our partners now, their social media, their texts, even their location. It's almost too easy to keep tabs on them.
But is that really a good thing? I mean,
Yeah.
a little transparency can be good, right? But when does it cross the line and become like obsessive monitoring?
Exactly. It's a slippery slope. A little bit of transparency can build trust, but too much can create suspicion and control. And that's definitely not healthy for any relationship.
Totally agree. And this Reddit post is like a perfect example of that struggle.
Right.
Even if the girlfriend's not actually cheating, all that secrecy is a sign that something's off, right?
Yeah,
Like she's got this whole other world that her boyfriend's not allowed into.
exactly. It creates this distance between them, and that lack of trust just breeds more problems.
It's like that saying, honesty is the best policy. Even if the truth hurts, it's got to be better than living with all those secrets and doubts.
100%. Open communication is so crucial in any relationship. It's about creating a safe space where you can both share your thoughts and feelings without being judged.
And that means both people have to be willing to listen, to really understand each other's perspective. It's not just about one person confessing and the other forgiving.
Right, it's a two-way street. Building that trust takes effort from both sides. You have to be vulnerable, accountable for your actions, and really committed to making things work.
So what's the takeaway for our guy in the Reddit post? If you were his friend, what advice would you give him?
I'd tell him to listen to his gut, but also to try and approach the situation with a clear head. He needs to talk to his girlfriend, tell her what he's noticed, and give her a chance to explain herself.
But those conversations can be so scary, right? Like, how do you even start?
It's definitely tough. He could start by focusing on his own feelings, instead of accusing her. Like, I've been feeling a bit disconnected from you lately, and I'm wondering if there's something we need to talk about.
So keep it about the emotions and observations, not about placing blame.
Exactly. It's about opening up a dialogue, not starting a fight. And if she's willing to have that conversation, to be honest and work on things together, then that's a good sign.
But if she shuts down or refuses to put in the effort, then he needs to decide if this relationship is really right for him.
Sometimes walking away is the best thing you can do for yourself, even if it hurts.
It's amazing how this one Reddit post has sparked such a deep conversation about relationships, isn't it?
It really is. It just goes to show that we're all figuring things out as we go, and there's no one right way to do relationships.
It's so true. Well, to our listener who shared this post with us, we hope this deep dive has been helpful, maybe even given you some things to think about in your own life. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shauna Palage. You can also catch more episodes of Voices of the Soul on your favorite podcast app.
It's been great chatting with you. Until next time, keep those deep dives going, folks.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.